Let's bring our good friend from Baltimore on the line. We've got Bernard Williams, Olympic gold medalist, with us, host of Stay in Your Lane. Bernard, how you doing, man?
I'm doing a lot better today.
I think we've had some time to process. Yesterday was certainly just devastation and kind of grief and sorrow with the news. After 24 hours later, we've seen all the coverage, the wall-to-wall coverage on all the sports networks. It's been all Kobe Bryant all the time. We've heard so many stories about him as a father, about him as a player, about his work ethic, about him as a person, about his openness and invitingness. What I'm left with is the motivation and the inspirational stories, the feel-good things. And that's kind of what I'm choosing to remember today, almost as if this was a New Orleans-style funeral. Yesterday was for the sad parlor music. Today is the happy second-line music as you're walking out of the cemetery. And I feel like that's the best way to think of these things.
Yeah. I mean, I agree. I mean, but again, it's a constant reminder too to love people while they're here. Show love not only when they're here, but show love when they leave too. And I just think when you're dealing with somebody with that magnitude and that success, as a sportsman, and now you're looking at him as a family man, I think that's great. And I think that's great all around the world, around the board. I just hate when sometimes in social media they start making comparisons. Well, do you think this would have been more impactful if it was Michael Jordan? Or do you think, it's like, no, man, no, don't make comparisons. Just rest, let the man rest in peace. And, appreciate all the good things. Like you said, appreciate some of the good things. But you can't blame people for still feeling down. I've had people come up to me at my kid's bus stop waiting for the school bus. And they're like, hey, man, you heard? I'm like, yeah, man. Yeah. And, so it's still, we're not the ones to tell people how to feel, but it still hurts some people. Some people are not ready for the good things yet, and that's okay.
But there's a couple of points to that you bring forth. You're right. A random stranger at a bus stop can come up to you today and say, "Have you heard the news? What do you think about Kobe today?" And what it's done is it has brought us together in a time which is the country is very polarized. It's very divided. This has been something that has brought everyone together. We can all take a moment to share a story about Kobe Bryant, or what do we like most about him? What did he mean to us? Are we grief stricken? Do we feel bad? Do we care? We can all have those conversations, and everyone can take part in that.
Yeah, and yesterday you said you couldn't help but to look at Kobe Bryant and look up to him. And I'm like, this dude was really tall. He was like 6'8" when I met him. And he was tall. He was tall.
That's the comedian in you.
And the comedian in you is who I want to speak to. I read some comments just a moment ago from one former president, one current president of the United States. I'm going to take you back to the campaign. And it wasn't necessarily with Donald. It was with Melania. He got in trouble for copying a tweet, or she got in trouble for copying a tweet from somebody else and reposting that, right? So I get that as we're all talking about Kobe Bryant, we're all feeling a lot of the same things. A lot of the messages are going to have some of the same things in them. But let me read this to you. These were Barack Obama's comments. I read these just a few minutes ago. And what he said was, Kobe was a legend on the court and just getting started in what would have been just as meaningful a second act. To lose Gianna is even more heartbreaking to us as parents. Michelle and I send love and prayers to Vanessa and the entire Bryant family on an unthinkable day. Now, beautiful words out of the former president, correct?
Correct.
Let me read you what Donald Trump wrote. What he says, again, beautiful words, but tell me if they sound familiar. Kobe Bryant, despite being one of the truly great basketball players of all time, was just getting started in life. He loved his family so much and had a strong passion for the future. The loss of his beautiful daughter Gianna makes this moment even more devastating. Now that starts to sound familiar. to what I just heard. Oh, wait, we didn't finish it, so we have to go follow it up with a second tweet. Melania and I send our warmest condolences to Vanessa and the wonderful Bryant family. May God be with you. Now, is it possible that Donald Trump copied and pasted and just hit a thesaurus for a couple of words and sent out that second tweet?
Well, it definitely sounds like a paraphrase, but you got to remember his wife had made a speech that was similar to Michelle Obama's a couple of years back.
I think they'd even used the same speechwriter. He was just handing out multiple copies. Here you go. Here. 10K for you, 10K for you.
Yeah, man, it's sad. But, hey, what do you expect from somebody who, he took the election? I mean, of course he's going to take some words and paraphrase it,
Bernard, you said that, not me. I appreciate it, though. Leave us with some final thoughts. You've got a chance to meet Kobe Bryant. You got a chance to be a part of those Olympic teams. What will he mean to you? How will you remember him going forward?
As someone who studied the best and became the best and was beat by the best and became the best again and was a great father figure, Oscar winner, children's book writer, an author, and doing anything he wanted to do. And by the way, a lot of people don't want to mention this. Kobe Bryant has a rap album. Okay, y'all need to go check that out on him. So he can go double platinum again. But yeah, he did have a rap album, and he did what he wanted to do. And he was a great Olympic champion, and it was an honor to shake his hand and meet him.
Collin says he's on that. He's going to have the rap album ready to go tomorrow. Hemo, let's give you the final word before we get out of here. On Kobe Bryant?
Yep.
Oh, nothing. I was just talking earlier about how I used him as an example of how amazing it was that guys could stay inspired and keep performing at that level for that long. And I always wondered how guys could do that, have accomplished everything over and over and over, and continue to be motivated. He was amazing.
Absolutely. Bernard, always appreciate you being a part of the show. Collin, before we get out of here, who is our beast of the day?
Buddy Hield joined Kobe Bryant as the only player in the last 20 seasons with a 20-point, 100% shooting fourth quarter in a game where his team overcame a 25-point deficit to win.
Not a bad way to pay tribute. Guys, thanks so much for being a part of the show. Thank you all so much for listening. We will be back again tomorrow. Collin and Callie are up next. Stay tuned for Beauty and the Beast.